Just finish over here. All right, tonight, this evening, we're beginning a new Maimer. It's also going to be in Schus of Leah Bas Chaya. It's a Yartzeit of tonight. Her Yartzeit is tonight, which is Yutes Teves, the 19th of Teves. So it's a merit of her Yartzeit, or Neshama. So the Maimer that we're studying is a Maimer that the Rebbe delivered, Hasidic Discourse, on the 10th of Shvat, Tovshin Lamed, 1970. January 1970. It is a Maimer that the Rebbe spoke in the daytime, that Shabbos, the 10th of Shvat, being the anniversary of the passing of the Istalkos of the previous Rebbe, 20-year anniversary, 1970. And at night, the Rebbe, at the formal Fabring, and the formal gathering, the Rebbe again delivered the Maimer, of course, new things, different things. And this is the Maimer we're going to be covering, is the night one, which is the more formal Maimer. The Rebbe usually, when there would be two, he would say the Maimer in the daytime and then at night, we deliver the same, the flow, although there were many different things. He would prefer that the night one should be published and all the additions that were in the daytime should be put in the footnotes. So this is what they're marking right in the first general footnote, that this is what they did in this Maimer also. They already learned it from a past experience in 1977 that the Rebbe said he should do it that way. Yeah. So therefore, from then on, when they merge, they say they choose one Maimer, they merge the other one in the footnotes. The Maimer is a Maimer that is based on a discourse that the previous Rebbe has released in the day of his passing, in the day of his Istalkos, which was Yud Shevat, Tovshin Yud, 1950. It begins with the verse, Bosi legani achesi kala. I have come to my garden, my Achesi, my sister, Kala the bride. This basically is a verse from Song of Songs, and it expresses the relationship between the Almighty and the Jewish nation, referred to as the bride of the Almighty. So the Rebbe begins the Maimer. Bosi legani achesi kala, mevi kvet kedushas meiri v'cham yadmur. So the previous Rebbe mentions the Bala Ilula, who is the anniversary, that the one that we commemorate his anniversary. Maimer in the Hasidic discourse, the Yemai Stalkos v'Yemai Ilula Shalei. In the discourse that he has released in the day of his passing and the day of his Ilula, the Isa b'Medrash Rabbah b'Mkeimei, that it says in Medrash Rabbah, Ligani Lignuni. That when it says, Bosi Ligani, I came to my garden, so Ligani means also to my dwelling place. Lignuni, which is a Gnunia, a dwelling place. In the place where the Shechina was originally. The Iker Shechina betachteinu, so the Shechina was originally in this low physical world. The godliness dwelled in this physical world, and then it left, and then it came back. Through the unwishful and negative events that took place, beginning from the sin of the tree of which was the tree of knowledge, the tree Vayerem. So then the Shechina left from below to above till the seventh heaven. It went back up. And then came tzaddikim, righteous people, and they began descending, drawing down the Shechina. Maschel me Avraham Avinu, Echad Avram, beginning from Avraham Avinu, who Avraham Avinu is referred to as Echad Avram. He was one against the whole world. Ve'iridu es Shechina le'oretz lemat, ve'iridu es Shechina mamayla lemata, and they drew down the Shechina from above to below. Ad sheba Mesha shehu Ashvi, till Mesha came that he's the seventh generation. V'chol Ashvi and Chavivin, and all the seventh are beloved. Ve'iridu lemata ba'oretz, and he's the one that did the punchline. He drew down the Shechina that dwell into this physical world. This concept of drawing down the Shechina in the world was done through the Mishkan that Mesha made. That you should make for me a sanctuary, and I will dwell amongst them. And he explains in the Maimer that this concept that the Shechina originally was in this physical world, what is the reason? What is the interest in this physical world? Who kitachas hakavone bebrias visavas ha'elam is because the ultimate intention in the creation and in the sustaining the world, who shenesav HaKadosh Baruch Hu liyishle yizbara dira b'tachteina. Because the Eibishter had a desire to have a dwelling place in this physical world. Now look in Orah 7. The Orah 7 is actually the source for this inyan of dira b'tachteina, the last line on the top, which is a dwelling place in this physical world. A Medrash Tanchuma, in Bechokesai, in Nosei, a Breishis Rabba, a Bamidbar Rabba, and a Tanya Reish Perish Lamed Vav. This is already to date how many references they have to this inyan, to this concept that the Eibishter, that the Almighty had a desire to have a dwelling place in this physical world. Tanchuma and Nosei, we always knew. We always were aware of that footnote, that reference. But then we have additional ones. It's very interesting. And then Tanya, the 23rd, that's what the last reference here is, the end of Peirik Lamed Vav, the end of chapter 36.
But Tanya is not an original reference.
Right, but the Rebbe in the Maimer is what one of the references should be Tanya, and that's what it is, so that's why it's mentioned. But
Tanya took it from somewhere else.
Tanya Teresh B'Ksava Chassidus, and therefore, and why does the Rebbe mention so often? Because it is mentioned in Tanya. The same way that we have, for example, we have on the Pasuk, it says, Le'elam Hashem dvarcha nitzav hashamayim. It says, for example, in the Ayem Yem of the 26th of Tishrei, the Rebbe says that the Baal Shem Tov said the word that the Eibishter's world sustains the world at all. The Eibishter's words, the 10 commandments, the 10 sentences with which he created the world, sustains the world at a kind of constant basis. So actually, it's a pasuk. It's a pasuk in Tehillim. Le'elam Hashem dvarcha nitzav hashamayim. Your words are constantly in heaven. So what is the Baal Shem Tov? What is the accomplishment? So one of the explanations is Upirish Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov explained, but Upirish also means he publicized, spread, publicized. Pirish Baal Shem Tov means that the Baal Shem Tov publicized this thing. It's in the Medrash, he publicized it. Same thing here also, the Alter Rebbe writing it in Tanya, he publicized it. Mashenkin in Tanchum, in Medrash, or in Breishis Rabbe, or in Bamidbar Rabbe, not always are people aware of it. So maybe this became an inyan that is, so therefore the Rebbe, the Tanya is an appropriate inyan to that it should be mentioned also as Tanya. The Tanya should be mentioned as a reference. Now we go on further, V'yesh leimar. So the Rebbe says, in the same sense that the chain, that the descent and the chain of the general world is L'tzeirach Aliyah. In other words, the drawing down is for the purpose of elevation. The descent of the godly light to sustain, to create and sustain the creations of the lower world, till the creations that are on this physical world are for the purpose of the elevation that is accomplished after that. The same thing is also in regards to the descent in the world itself. That in the world itself there was a descent. The world was pure. Then there was a sin of Eitz Hadas, the sin of the tree of knowledge, and then other generations till they drove the Shekhinah back up.
Would you say that Nisava Dira B'Tachtani also applies Yeridu L'Tzorach Aliyah?
It is, but not directly, because the Dira B'Tachtani means that it has to be clean from everything. A Dira is that we have Kelim Noim, beautiful vessels. So Mela, it is a certain process, which is in an indirect way, because this is not the way to do it. The Eibishter does not want a person should sin in order to do tshuva. But basically, this is something that was Yeridat Tzorach Aliyah, was done on the descent and the sins on the part of the creation, but that was also destined from before.
I mean that. It says the Eibishter wants a Dira B'Tachtani. Is that connected to Yerida L'Tzorach Aliyah? Is that going up somewhere, or that's the goal?
The Dira B'Tachtenim is the goal, the matter that a person is in the physical world, takes the physical world, makes it into a spiritual standard, elevates it to spiritual standards. Yerida Tzerech Aliyah is an additional thing, which is another descent that took place on the part of the creation. And